is in the air here at New Hampshire. Once this race continues, things can change in an instant at day 7. Thomas Jowers Jr. did get his lap back. There he goes, celebrating tonight at day. Welcome to Myrtle Beach. Oh, why did I say it like that? Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I am your host, Adam Chapman. Alongside me tonight is a special guest who knows a lot about late models, super late models, and all that good stuff. Short track racing expert Joe Burchett. I called you an expert, sorry. I don't know if you want me to call you that or not. Joe, Myrtle Beach tonight. What are these guys going to expect?
They're going to expect some close, hard, short track racing.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it. It's the first time I've ever actually been to this track. First time I've actually seen it was tonight. I bought this track like 3 weeks ago, never even came on, or 2 weeks ago. I never even came on it. And my first impressions when I came onto it is how flat it is. And it's a really wide turn. Like the turns are really wide. Let me ask you a question. Turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, will we see higher lines work at all? I mean, or is this, you know, more of a bottom track? Because I don't see the high line really doing anything right now.
Well, with it being a 100-lap race and as quickly as the laps kind of count off, you may see like a middle type group in somewhat as the race progresses. But I would imagine most of these guys are going to want to get to the bottom and stay on the bottom for as long as they can. Yeah,
these guys actually run open setups. You've ran in here, I think, for one race, I think. This is a unique track. For people that don't know anything about Myrtle Beach, this track opened back up in 1958. Originally a dirt track, Ramby Raceway, I believe. But this is the home to the Myrtle Beach 400, Icebreaker 200, and apparently they run a couple other things here. The NASCAR racing experience, which I'm guessing is just where, you know, we get the chance to pretty much go drive the cars. Monster Jam, which is pretty cool, and Nopi Nationals. If you've ever been to Nopi Nationals, very fun. I went to them at Bristol a few years back, but really cool that they actually ran this here. They actually started paving this track in 1974 is when the first track got paved. I do know that Dale Earnhardt Jr., all the Petties, and Jeff Gordon's ran here, so a lot of famous guys have ran here. This track, how big is this track? Half a mile?
Just over half a mile.
Just over half a mile, 0.52 miles. So 4 turns, of course. There's your track temp, 78 degrees. Weather is partly cloudy skies. So, one interesting thing about this, Joe, and maybe you can kind of speak a little bit about it. They do not allow you to change tires in this series. They do on the final race of the season. You are allowed to change tires because the races are slightly a little bit longer with 200 laps, but they don't allow you to change tires. What would that do to these cars over time? Will it, you know, especially on this track?
Well, depending on, a lot of it will depend on too how you set your car up to compensate for not being able to change the tires. But mostly, as they build up and build pressure and build heat, they're going to want to push. So you want to kind of have to compensate for them wanting to push more towards the outside and towards the wall. You're going to see a lot of them early in the run. They're going to try to take it as deep as they possibly can into the corner. And, you know, as the race starts to progress, you're going to see them start backing their corners up a lot to kind of get the car to settle.
There was something I was going to ask you. Actually, I mentioned it the other night whenever we was in a race with our team. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's been Derek broadcasting the other night at Martinsville for the Monday night Red Light Racing Series. By the way, qualifying getting underway right now. We're going to watch Tyler Cox as he goes out to the track in the number 15 car. In your mind, Joe, and I kind of mentioned this to Derek because I kind of learned it from you, what is the most important aspect, what is the main important thing that you need to be successful at short track racing?
Well, first off, it's, you know, you've got to keep a, you know, solid head underneath you. You can't let stuff get to you if you're, you know, having a bad day and not, you know, having the race you want it to go. If you're having the perfect race, it's, you know, you just want to hit your marks and keep the car underneath you. Don't do anything that could possibly screw your nice run or nice day up. And with short tracking, it's all about tire conservation and don't overheat your brakes. Now,
I know there's one ingredient that I didn't hear you say, and I know you probably going to meant to say it, and I'm sure you're going to say you're right because I've heard you say it 100 times. Drive off is very important.
Yes, yes.
On short tracks, I know that Martinsville was extremely important, so I'm guessing it kind of, you know, relays over to all short track racing, especially like a flatter top track like this. How do you go about setting up a pass? Is it with the drive off, or are you trying to actually get, you know, what is the most important aspect of trying to set up a pass on a short track, especially like this one, because this is a unique track?
Oh, well, I mean, you've got different options. You know, obviously, the first one most people will think of is, you know, to kind of just go in there and give the guy, you know, a bump or something and move him out of the way. That is always, you know, an aspect of short track racing. But, you know, if you're kind of using more of the strategy type, you kind of watch the line and you see that they're starting to move up the track and they're using a lot more brake. You kind of roll through the center, and you can use the drive off to be able to get back to the gas a lot quicker and be able to possibly, you know, get to their inside or their outside, whichever it is, down one of the straightaways and allow yourself to try to complete the pass on one of the straightaways, or, you know, just either drive it in deep into a corner and hopefully it sticks and you can muscle your way around them, or, you know, like I said, just use your brain and use strategy.
You're seeing a car right now, and interested about this car is the reason why it's cool to have Joe up here. You see the number 17 car, Tommy Hates. That is a Toyota Danville paint scheme, which I'm not mistaken is driven by Peyton Sellers. Joe actually, is that who's driven by, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And Joe actually knows him, which is really awesome because they're actually pretty good friends. So it's really cool to see that paint out here and have Joe actually up here calling with that car. I mean, him and Peyton have become pretty decent friends over the last few weeks. So it's pretty cool to have Joe up here calling this race because he does know a lot about these super late models or late models or super lates or any type of short track. Joe is smart on anything he drives in iRacing, let's just be honest. If you have no idea, if you ever seen Joe drive, trust me, you can go back on some of our broadcasts and see him completely dominate races. And hello, Delaney. There is one interesting person in here that I haven't mentioned. We watched Tyler Cox just for a minute. Tyler is a really, really good driver. And Joe, you know this. You've raced with him. He's on your team. He's on our team. He's in here with guys that know what they're doing as well. And it's going to be an interesting fact to see what happens with Tyler tonight, because this could make or break some confidence with him. Because he is a really fast guy. We just watched the 91 blow up, which is strange. So he's got too much gear, I think, in that car. Or too less gear, should I say. So it's interesting. I don't know. I'm really interested to see how he's going to do tonight. But 5 minutes left here in qualifying. Qualifying's just about done, by the way, guys. Everybody, well, we're probably going to have to take a quick break right here after this lap from Bob Lauren to see. We'll probably have to let qualifying finish out before we get ready to go live. So we got about 5 minutes left as Bob crosses the start finish line. See if he can jump up from the 12th spot. And it looks like that he will not. So we'll take a quick break. You're not going to miss anything. If anything changes, we'll come right back. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Looking at the concession stands right now. About to go back, or about to line up for the grid. It does look like Joshua Hart will be your pole sitter tonight. Real fast, let's pull in Adam Maddox. He will be starting in 4th place tonight. Hey, Adam, you got me?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Hey, man, going to be starting in 4th right now, unless anybody goes out there and qualifies here in the last few minutes. What's it going to take to get the car up front?
A different driver tonight.
Well,
this ain't my place, man. I honestly, that was a much better lap than I'm capable of. That was a 1 in a million lap. So I am just looking to hold on tonight.
This is a unique track. We talked about it a few minutes ago during the pre-race. Me and Joe was in here talking about it. What makes this place so unique as a driver standpoint?
Well, you really got to let it roll through the turn, and you got to be really careful about those rumble bumps down low in 1 and 2. That's you hit those, you're done.
All right, man. Go up here and see what you could do. A lot of cars here tonight. Good turnout tonight. So we'll see how this turns out, and hope for the best for you. We'll be up here watching.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot, man. All right. And he did mention that. That is something, Joe. The bumps down in turn 1 a little bit different. The rumble strip, I guess you could call it. I don't really know what they are. Can be a very dangerous part of turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you'll see here when these guys get ready to go green, when they drop the green flag, they're going to fan out as soon as they go across the line. And, be on your toes, everyone watching, because I would imagine you're probably going to see possibly someone hit those little rumble strips down there in 1 and 2, and you're going to see a show.
Yeah, we're going to see some wrecks. That's a given. I mean, any short track, you're going to see a wreck, and most of the time, they're pretty spectacular. We've seen some pretty good here in practice. So, gridding starting to take place. Let's get a look at your grid. Right now, as I learn how to click the right button, it is Joshua Hart and Logan Runyon, who I believe is the pole sitter. I don't have the points in front of me. I need to get them from him. Next up, we got Chris Stump, Adam Maddox, David Knowles, Brian Hacker, Jamie Christensen, Dylan Little, AJ Rogers, and I'm not going to worry about pronouncing the 91's first name. I think it's Henrico Tower. Henrico, I think it's right. Tommy Hayes, Bob Lauren, Steve Bachman, Bachman, sorry, in the 4, Tyler Cox in the 15, and the 77. We're also missing a couple other guys that did not qualify. They had problems. So one interesting person that I know for sure that did not qualify yet is back there in the 21 car, Logan Soraka, and he is fast. So keep your eye on that 77 car. It's going to be fun to see if he can make it up through the field, knowing how fast he really is, because we seen him in practice. He was right there with 1st and 2nd. It's going to be interesting to see what Joshua Hart can do here against the 6 Logan as well. So I don't know. I mean, there's so much unknowns that's about to take place, and we're about to uncover it, I guess we can say, as the pace car rolls off the pit road, and see some cars already going up to the high lane and getting ready to grid up even tighter, I guess. How many laps would it take around this too?
No, I actually think it's
Just one?
well, yeah, I think it is two possibly here.
I'm not sure. It is two, yeah, because they just went
I see lights out on the pace car, but he's going around and they've already went through pit entrance.
Yeah,
so.
pit entrance very different here. Turn 3, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of. It actually kind of starts on the backstretch going into turn 3.
It's weird. And of course, these guys cannot take tires, so that's going to be interesting. So now we'll get ready to go green as pace lights are completely off, I guess we can say. Although it was officially off the first time.
Now, one thing to watch out here for, as I've noticed a few times when I've ran here at Myrtle Beach, is the outside doesn't usually get a great start here. Oh, okay, I see it now. It's actually the 21 going into turn 1. He kind of gets underneath the 14 and they kind of spins him a little bit, but the 14 saves it. Yeah. Yeah, this track really kind of reminds me a lot of a Richmond, of kind of how turn 2, like, very of how you come out of the corner, the backstretch, got to adjust really, really quickly.
It's kind of different. Like, you can see how the wall and stuff comes up on you too, just like a kind of like a Richmond, I guess. It's definitely, it really resembles Richmond in a way. It's kind of amazing. They're looking at all the tire marks around the track, and guys, if it's lagging a little bit, I apologize. It's I'm messing with these settings. Hopefully, it looks better on your end though. Anyway, I was sitting here looking at some of the tire marks around the track, and there is no tire marks at all going into turn 1 on the bottom side, so it's pretty cool. But you can see them pretty good going into 3 and 4. So iRacing did a really good job on the scan of this track. By the way, did you know that they actually scanned the new Charlotte Motor Speedway, but they have to go back and scan it again because of the road rule?
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty interesting. Look where they added, like, you know, the whatever it was that they added to it, the turn on the extra chicane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to go back and actually scan it again. So pretty cool to see that. I seen that on Twitter when they was talking about it.
It should be some good content for next year.
Yeah, it really is. I'm anxious to see the rally and stuff as well. All right, so pace car drops in. Green flag about to wave once again. And pace car will take the green flag back out. They're into 6th. And you mentioned that outside line is very tough to put a pass on. See it there. As we work out. 98 car. Which time will get to the ride. One interesting fact, guys, everybody but one person is Class A and B. And if you're new to iRacing, that is how racing is run the job creator car iRacing. And basically just I don't know, a license, I guess you could say. And also for anybody that is new to iRacing while we're watching this good battle, it doesn't talk about what it was. Good battle with Brian Hacker and David Knowles for 5th and 6th. Joe, let me go ahead and ask you, we didn't get into
well, I did a little bit of racing and a little bit of practicing against these guys, and I'd have to say over the long run, I'd probably have to give it to the 6 of Logan Runyon.
He's been pretty dominant almost all season. I think him and his teammate 21, by the way, Landon, is already up to 12th place. We do got one car out already. Tyler Cox is sitting on pit road. Not the way he wanted to not go. Not sure what happened. 75 with Jacob Christian. Still watching the battle right now between the 5 of AJ Running high low line right now, definitely working best as AJ will take away that position. We'll jump back to the 17 Tommy Hayes. I had 3 wide behind him. You don't want to be in that position too long. Jacob Christian having some trouble falling back down to the 17th. Go back a little bit further, watching Bob Lauren and see Bob as 14. Bob will take away the 12th position. Pretty much all single file. I mean, that's kind of what we expected here. Joe, you raised here. Is that pretty much typical for a lot of single file? I mean,
yeah.
Everybody's trying to get to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, here early in a run, they're going to kind of space out, and I'm going to imagine, haven't really looked at the times yet, I'm going to imagine most of these top runners are running about the same lap time, as they're kind of keeping about the same distance apart from each other. One interesting fact to kind of keep a lookout for is the leaders are starting to kind of approach a little bit of a lap traffic. We do have one car up here possibly getting close to going a lap down. We got to see how the leaders and how the lap car kind of plays it around each other. Early in the race, this kind of track is somewhat of like a one-lane track, as you really want to try to keep that bottom until it rubbers in too much. Then you kind of want to search around. You got to see what that lap car is going to do, and how these leaders can work around him safely.
You mentioned lap time, so it's pretty much spot on. Each lap time is pretty much dead even with the top 4 or so. That gives a little bit here and there. Once in a while, so yeah, it's something I'll definitely be thinking of. Our biggest mover right now is up to 8. In that number 21 car, Landon Soraka already done in the 8th place after starting dead last on the field. We know that he was fast. He was second fastest in practice, so he's already started working his way up the field. And then maybe we'll take, we got a car on pit road. 4 car on pit road. He looks like he's got some damage. So Steve Bachman, not greatest position right now. Watch the leader, by the way, is blinking a little bit. That's something else to keep in mind as he catches flat traffic. And if anybody knows anything about short track racing, which most people do or has an idea, usually the winner is based on who can get through lap traffic the fastest. Let's be honest. It cuts down lap traffic, and actually you try to, you can gain your most time if you're second and so forth. Adam Maddox being passed by Brian Hacker in the 11. I love that 11. Hacker will move up to the 4th position. Maddox said he wasn't really looking forward to this race, so good job being able to keep the car.
Running
I got
top
word.
5, currently, so he's kind of keeping to a good momentum there.
I got word that Tyler Cox's pedals actually came unhooked from his stand, and they fell off the stand while he was driving. That makes sense. What happened to him?
That's some unfortunate luck.
Yeah. That's not good. I ain't gonna lie. You know, the other day I was racing Charlotte. My wheel actually came undone. Looking through the field. Pretty much, one of the other guys is starting to work his way up the infield right
Now, one thing kind of to keep in mind here as I'm looking at some lap times, the 95 here of Joshua Hart, he's kind of running anywhere from a 19.5 to mid 19.6s,
Okay.
as Logan Runyon right now is running 19.7s. I don't know if that's by design for Logan to kind of slow his pace down a little bit. He may be trying to conserve his tires and let Joshua kind of run away a little bit, so to speak, but run the tires off the car and not have them later as the race progresses.
Let me ask you, this is a 100-lap race, and it's not a long race. It's fairly short. How much safety really goes into, knowing? I don't want to say it's a dash, but kind of what it is. Do you want to say most of the time about half the race and the next half?
That's generally the way most people are gonna go about it. Actually, the way I usually think of it is kind of run hard for the first 10 to 15 laps, kind of save middle through the kind of middle run of the race, and then go hard again towards the end.
Yeah, I was sitting here looking. We got a
As
caution.
we've got a caution.
Adam Maddox is around into the wall, backing into the fence. He may have had help from the 5. Let's find out. AJ Rogers is running behind him, and it looks like Maddox may have came down just a little bit. Looks like the 5 may have had the line. Don't look like he's got too much damage on the 94, but will make him lose a lot of track position. Of course, track position is pretty big here, I would guess, seeing it is pretty much a one-group track. So I want to let everybody know the schedule next week for these guys, and our schedule for the rest of this week as well. We do broadcast tomorrow night for the Go Fast Racing League at Talladega. That will be our only broadcast of this week. The rest of the week, we actually do not broadcast Friday, Saturday. And then we'll back on Monday for the Red Light Racing Series, Tuesday for Dynasty Racing League, Tuesday for Dynasty Racing League at Bristol, and then back here next week we will be at Joe's favorite track, Martinsville Speedway. So, I call it your favorite track, I'm going to guess it is. By the way, just to let you know, we was actually talking about this before we came on the air. They actually run the Triple Crown here. They run South Boston, Martinsville, and Langley. South Boston was the first race. Martinsville is next week, and then Langley. They actually have it on the bottom at Dino's Virginia Triple Crown.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. We was just talking about it. I actually looked at the schedule, and there it is. So right now, honestly, Joe, looking through the field, I think I'm mostly impressed with the 11 of Brian Hacker and the 21 of Landon. And it does look like AJ Rogers will get a black flag, I think.
He's got an EOL.
EOL, okay. So I don't know. He may actually came up and got him back a little bit. He may have took credit as well.
After looking at it, I've kind of noticed it seemed like it was just a race that kind of taking that more aggressive line into the corner. Nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong by either driver. It's just you're racing. Stuff happens. There's contact always made. Short track racing, there's always going to be contact.
All right, so you can see the 95 blinking a little bit of connection issues. I'm actually having some myself a little bit, so we're okay though. So pace light should be going off on the pace car this time. That's one cool thing about the short track racing is the cautions don't take long. And if anybody that's on iRacing or races on iRacing, you know how long cautions can take in some places, especially like Talladega. Good Lord, that's brutal. Alright, so the pace lights are off as we double them back up. Get ready to go back green. Wow. Green flag racing. So far, 2 cautions for 8 laps. No lead changes at the moment. It has been Joshua Hart out front as the pace car pulls in. Green flag is about to come out.
Alright, let's see if the 6 here can able to keep up when the 95 launches. As he he caught him again.
Yeah, he really caught him that time. It's Chris Stump going to take over 2nd place. And
they're
battle.
really turning out.
Here's 21. Now the 11 car there's just a little bit. 21 to 6 with no help to looks like Landon now up to 4th place. So Landon's actually one of our biggest movers. I keep mentioning him. He's here from last to the front. And only 37 laps. Not bad at all for the kind of car count we actually have. You know, Joe, when you set up these cars, and I don't know if you know a lot about it, what is the thing you're focused on? Is it the handling? Is it the drive off? What is the main focus in your mind on what you really want to focus on when you're setting these things up?
Well, I mean, with them being short tracks, you're not really focused on all-out speed. You really just want the car to hook up and go from point A to point B. So you're really going to want that drive off. And you really want it to be able to handle through the center of the corner, and be able to be stable under braking.
We definitely know Martin's was a big thing for that.
Yes.
I can't wait till Martin gets added on with the knot or with the lights. Really looking forward to racing Martin's with not lights, not racing in front.
It's definitely a different aspect.
A couple weeks ago. Pretty cool. I seen the video, by the way. I love the video of that race starting out. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully iRacing can get it added here soon. Of course, we've seen a couple other cars. By the way, guys, before I forget, as we watch past my teammate battle, what we do to the high side? Wow, he actually may take it away on the high side. Will take it away on the high side.
That is something to watch there.
Yeah, not just that's
see if now you have to see if anybody else pays attention to that.
He took it away, yeah. That's impressive. Wow. So Landon takes away the high, or uses the high line, picks up 35. So yeah, guys, before I forget, you can tell that all our graphics are pink this week, or pink for the whole month of October for breast cancer awareness. There's a link in the description. Oh, the 6 want to see. There's a link in the description. Any donation for breast cancer goes straight to them. We don't see none of it. And also, a little bit of information on the report. TRN Overtake Racing will be, or Overtake Motorsport, sorry, will be doing a all-day broadcast on YouTube. All kinds of different games for extra live shares. So we'll be doing it from start from about 9 a.m. till probably about 11 p.m. Should be fun. Anyway, watching right now, watching the 6 of Logan. As he's trying to pass Pride Hacker. 98 gets into the wall for the stuff. You stay green though, it ain't going to cause any damage at the moment. If you don't have a little bit of damage to the car, you have to race the park up. Especially in a short track. You ever
everybody knows. No. Pretty cool track though. So, I'm kind of curious. Oh, the 11 gives the 6 the bumper just a little bit. Kind of curious if iRacing will ever add this track to a dirt track, since they got, it was dirt at one time. Oh, 6 in the wall hard. And that tore his car up. So our points leader hit the wall, you can see, as we zoom in on that damage. There's a lot of damage. How much will that damage hurt him, Joe? He really hit that wall hard with that right front. I mean, it is really out. Be surprised. It's not going to hurt as bad as you think it will, just for the fact that not really using that high of a speed around here,
Right.
so it's more of just a handling. Depends on how much of it is kind of hurt, you know, kind of the components in the car. If it just doesn't want to kind of steer as good as it did before.
Lap times look pretty solid. I mean, 19.8 that time. Still not horrible laps. I know this track may not be the most aerodynamic track for the late models. Out of all the short tracks that we go to, which track, you know, is the most aerodynamic, you know, track besides Bristol? I don't know if that would be considered one. But, which short track though is the most aerodynamic track?
Really quiet. Other than Bristol, I would on the service. I would probably
Throw Dover right now? I'm not sure.
Dover's about a mile,
Yeah,
I believe.
I don't know if we'd really
But
count that one.
yeah, if you're kind of going with the traditional, you know, short track, kind of flat track type,
Right.
that you still want to kind of use a little bit of aerodynamics, I guess you could say possibly Martinsville. There
That's
might
true.
be another track possibly out there, maybe like a
What's South Boston? Would that hurt?
South Boston, not necessarily, because you're
it's
mostly
so
turning
short.
there all the time. They're very, very short straightaways.
Oh, trouble. 93 round. Caution comes out. Dylan Little goes around. He may have had help. Oh, he may have just got loose. He may have hit bumps. Washington 93. Did he have help from 14? Yes, he did. Bump got put on him. And up the rest of the way around. See that 14 car, Bob Lauren. We'll take one more look to try to get a better view. Yeah, he definitely helped him around just a little bit. And it don't take much to get turned around in these cars, that's for sure.
Now that wreck, to me, it looks like that's a product of one car kind of saving his tires and saving his equipment a little bit, and you know, like in the case of the 93, possibly ran the car a little hard early, and he's starting to kind of lose his you know, braking ability.
Let me ask you a question. We talked about lap cars earlier. We're on lap 56, about to be 57 now. How patient are you going to be with lap cars now?
I'm going to be wanting them to get out of the way very, very quickly. If you're running up on lap cars, at this point, this is time to go, especially for these guys here in the front on the outside and third place. As all these restarts so far tonight, the 95 has picked his time to go, and he has left the field. You know, he's been at least 5 to 6 car lengths ahead of everybody, usually on each restart.
This restart's going to be interesting because the 21s will be starting on the high side.
Yeah, with Landon getting up there, there's you're really going to see if Landon judges when he goes, and if he can stick with him, it's going to be a battle going into turn one, because you've seen Landon try to make passes on the outside, and the 95 really hasn't had any competition tonight. So what are you going to see with him when somebody actually gets close enough to him?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because you mentioned that the outside really never gets going on restarts. And with these guys being able to, you know, to jump a little bit and stuff like that. You know, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know how much wheel spin really affects these cars. Do you really get severe wheel spin like you would in a cup car or something like that in these things? I'm not sure.
They can still produce wheel spin, but you really kind of got to just rev it up pretty high.
All right, well, we're going to find out. The pace car's pulling out here. Road green flag is about to come back out. We're on lap 59. So we are past halfway as the pace car pulls in. Green flag. Back out. 21 got caught sleeping well. Looks like anybody that's on that hot side is sleeping pretty bad. 95 really got the restarts down.
Only one ear can power back on the outside and clear this 98 pretty quickly, or he's going to allow this 95 to run away and hide again.
Back out front, or back out in second. Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, we haven't seen Joshua have any competition. He's been pretty much just dropping away from everybody. And, you know, And he should. I mean, he's looking like he's got the fastest car, but we haven't really seen him land out in, clean air, I guess, or without as much traffic around him. So it's going to be interesting to see what the 21 can do if he can catch him. And I'll be honest, that last time I was a flyer on that. Wow. He was 2/10 fast, almost 2/10 faster that time. Brian Hacker gets around Chris Dunn for third place. Adam Maddox, who had a spin earlier, into the back of the fence.
Got a caution.
Caution is out. 91. Power. Oh, 3 wide. That's why he went around. Oh, the 77 got him doing pretty good. I don't know if that's actually going to cost the caution. I think the 91 got loose on the high side. Oh, yeah, 77 got into 93, sent the 91 around. Alright, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back right after this. We'll just see contact between the 11 and 21 between Brian Hacker and the local Soraka. Joe was talking about how patient guys were on the beach in the 95. Jerry kind of mentioned that the only way it looks like the 95. Oh, hold on. Let's watch the restart first. As the green flag about to come out, there it is. And it looks like Landon got caution. We mentioned that more caution is coming out. Landon's going to catch on to when he's going. But we also mentioned that somebody's going to have to get up there and try to run with him, not possibly get him up, because he's getting such good restarts. It's pretty impressive. Adam Maddox now was there. I think it was 6, a little high.
21's got a problem. When way up the hill in turn 1 and 2.
Wow.
Well, he's coming back around on the outside here.
Cow. He may get a second though to the 11. Oh man!
Ooh,
he's in trouble now.
contact.
By the way, I just 98 actually hit the or the bumps in turn 1. The Landon's going back. Give him a 5 the bumper.
I'm wondering if Landon's not too happy with 5, kind of moving him out of the way there. That's one aspect you see with short track racing. Hippers can flare and flare quickly.
He actually looking back to the high side of the head on 5. Which is interesting because he just lost a lot of spots. Oh, now he's not going to be happy with 5. Oh, some Contact going on. That's short track racing though. Let's see how much short track racing is going to take its toll. We mentioned patience. Patience running fifth now as we're on lap 72. 21.
Moving it in there on him. This is definitely your best battle on the racetrack right now.
This is short track racing at its best, let's be honest. I mean, when you start seeing them touch bumpers, that's short track racing. What's great about it. You know, it might not be so great to be on. Yeah, I mean, they're running out of time. Joshua's already out to a 1.8 second lead. We're already on 74 laps. We're about to be 75 laps out of the 100. That's scheduled. You really need to go if you want to go and have a decent time to change stuff now.
And the one thing I'm watching here is this 5 and the 21 are getting much better runs through the center of the corners on this 11 as we got a caution.
Yep. David Knowles. Oh yeah, that was a hard wreck. He saw some smoke. Yeah, for a while. Let's see. Hey there, guy. Help from the 14er. He touched the rumble strip. Let's see. Oh, he just lost it. Oh, he lost it. He came down in front of 77. Done some damage. Well, let me ask you. Well, I was going to say, let me ask you this. Landon's going to be on the inside, but no, he's not. He's still going to be caught up on the high side. So Brian Hacker now, who's been behind Joshua for a long time and kind of seen when he restarts. I wonder if that's going to help him able to try to get to restart on this one, or will we see once again the 95, you know, get a great jump?
Well, one thing I've noticed there, you know, with kind of those incidents there with the 21 and the 5, with this restart. With the 5 being on the inside behind the 95, if the 5 can get a good enough launch and be able to go with the 95, is there a possibility that we see the 5 drive it in a little deep and use a little bit of bumper on the 95 going into turn 1?
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned that during the break. You feel like that may be possibly the only way anybody's going to have a chance at the 95. And honestly, I kind of believe that too, because we're seeing him get such good runs. Once he's out, he's gone. I feel like you're right. I think somebody's going to have to try something to be able to try to get the win. We'll see, though. I mean, you never know. Joshua's been pretty much dominant, though, from the start. I mean, he's got how many laps now, man? All of them?
Oh, yeah, I believe he's led every single lap.
About to be 78 laps. So you look at the race summary, he's not really much to tell. It's been a good race, though. Only 5 cautions so far for about to be 19 laps. Been a really good race, especially for a short track. It's been, you know, what I've came to expect from these guys. These guys have been putting on good shows for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks, I guess. Done a really good job, so. Looks like we're going to go around at least 2 more times as the pace lights are still on. We do have 12 cars right now still on the lead lap. Last one being the 77. And I'm not going to pronounce his name, so it's all butchers, I'm sorry. I think it's Enrique something, that's all I can tell you.
Enrique Torres.
Thank you. Glad somebody can do it. I wasn't going to try to pronounce the middle name either. Yeah, I've done
Like
that.
it is Contreras.
Contreras. I'm from Tennessee, I got excuses. Pace lights are off. We're about to go back green flag. This is going to be a really interesting. This may have to be the start of the night for the 5 or whoever's behind me to have a chance. Now, I'm not saying the wrecks are over though. Pace car. The green flag is back out.
A much better launch by the high side on this one. The 5 looked like he kind of got caught sleeping.
That did allow Brian to actually get to the bottom.
But it still looks like that 95 is starting to check out.
He's got a car that's really dominant. He didn't get on it. Oh, somebody got the wall there. 21. That's the wall since the sparks flying. Starting to see Adam Maddox as well. Starting to catch back up. got a battle for second. Here comes Landon. Trying to take away second on the high side. Which is the only one we've seen able to do it. As he takes away second place. Right back. Now the question comes, will he have time? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm just going to be honest, I don't know.
And I don't see him with as much as he's had to do tonight of coming all the way through the field. Several restarts, been stuck on the outside and have to fight back 2 seconds.
Caution as out. I see Logan Runyon. I think he actually did get 17 seconds. No. Is there another one? Oh, okay, the 77. Hard into the wall. He actually got to the inside wall. Actually went around. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think the 21 may have burned up a lot of stuff, you know, trying to get back up through there. 5 might not be too happy. I just gave the 21 a little tap. He's still tapping a little bit. Not sure what that's about.
That's just good old short track racing.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy about something. So, Landon's seen what Joshua can do, but Joshua's been getting his restarts. I mean, he's on point with the restarts tonight. I don't know if Landon's going to be able to time it again. We'll see. I am impressed with Adam Maddox, though. After getting turned over and backed into the wall, started last, he's back up to 6th. Got to give him a shout out for that. Kind of feel bad for the 6th as well, though. Logan, he started up in 2nd. He's actually on pit road getting some damage repaired, or about to be getting some damage repaired. He's not really done much since he got wrecked, or got involved in the wreck earlier, or got to the wall, I should say, earlier. As we get ready to line them back up.
As I've said earlier, though, Adam, with the damage not really being as much of a factor, one thing though to think about is at 95, if you look at that car's spotless, doesn't have a scratch or anything on it. I would almost be willing to bet every other car in this field has got some sort of damage of either scraping the wall or bumper-to-bumper damage. I'm just wondering if that is a possibility that's helping him just in some sort of way of being able to get just enough, a little bit of extra downforce to be able to drive up out of those corners.
It's been, I'm going to be honest, it's just been so impressive to watch what 95 can do. He's like, the entire, not just the restarts, I mean, he's driving a late. And we didn't really see much of him in practice. So it's very impressive. We're going to find out. We're going to have 11 laps to go once we hit the line. The pace car does pull in. What's going to happen here? As the green flag. We're green.
Ooh.
Well, Landon got a little bit better start.
Better restart here. The 11's going to be on the inside of the 21.
Start.
21
like
drives it deep into the corner.
Hard. Looks like he's going to take away second. He'll hold in that spot. Watch for a bump from at 11 on the 21 as well. We're going to have to know something. There we go. Here comes 5. This is 3 wide going into 1. And it looks like Chris Stunt's going to back out of that.
If anybody's going to be able to get to this 95, this is going to be the chance right here.
And Landon catching. He does look pretty good in the center, though. But we'll see. Really need to drive off.
Everybody out there watching, just to remember, if you don't know iRacing, they don't have a green, white checkered. So
Yeah.
Josh was kind of looking for that 195, the 196 mark. If a caution comes out after that, the race is effectively over.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll get that on iRacing. I don't know if they can actually put that in or not. I'm sure they can. There's so much stuff that we, that they've added that's been pretty impressive as of late. So here's the lap 95 mark coming up, and we'll have to go around the course. Looking at the lap times, Atlanta was faster that time. No, yeah, he was faster that time. Not by much, but faster than kind of lap times he's running. I don't think he'll be able to catch it. We may have to try to pick it up.
There's a caution stop.
Yep. Logan Runyon, which is the 21's teammate. We're going to have a lap.
Yeah. There's a possibility we'll kind of have to see here.
And 14 got into the side of the 6, and 92 up the rest of the way around. Probably some heat going on right now between Logan and him. We should have another lap left, I think. It's going to be close. For people that also is new to iRacer, not familiar, like Joe mentioned, this is a simulation. We call it a game, but it is a simulation. You probably heard about it, spoke on. If you're a NASCAR fan, heard them talk about it on NASCAR. It is the closest thing you can get to racing without actually being in a real race car. Honestly, you don't have any type of assist that is slowing you down or anything like that. You actually have to drive the car. You can drive it with the controller, but let's be honest, you don't want to do that. A wheel makes it realistic, and it's way better with a wheel because, to be honest, you ain't that good with the controller. So yeah, if anybody's interested, you can check it out. There's all kinds of promo codes out there. You can go to iRacing Reddit. There's like, shoot, I don't know, about 5 or 6 of them on there, and it's really cheap to get actually started. It's like $5. Of course, the gaming computer, you've got to have one, or a really good laptop, but get you a desktop, it's better anyway. So yeah, if anybody's interested, just go check it out, iRacing.com. And trust me, if you get on it and you get everything you need, you're hooked, I promise. I've been on here almost, I don't know, 2, 3, I don't know how long.
I'm up on about 2 years.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah, 2 years almost, so. Is that how long you've been on here too?
I think about the same, yeah.
Yeah, I joined in November, so next month will be my 2 year on here, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, same time as me, actually.
Yeah, but your rating is way different than mine and way better. So, and that will end the race, by the way, it looks like, Joe.
Okay, yeah.
So, it looks like Joshua Hart will be your winner. We'll lead every lap tonight. So, Joe mentioned that you got to really do something before a caution comes out. Well, caution came out. Usually we don't have green, white checkers, so your winner will be Joshua Hart as the white flag waves here in Myrtle Beach. And, it's going to be kind of disappointing for, Landon, but at the same time, I think the fastest guy won. Honestly. Whoa, what's wrong? Okay. That's weird. I think they thought it was already the last lap. So we're going to talk to, hopefully Joshua, if he's on. He's actually not in here, so we're not going to talk to Joshua. We will talk to Landon and Brian, however. As your winner tonight, coming out of turn 4, will be the 95 Joshua Hart, who led every single lap and dominated here tonight at Myrtle Beach. It's a cool looking paint scheme as well. She works out of turn number 4. He'll be doing his donuts or burn out or whatever he wants to do. See him burning it down there. Alright, well, let's go ahead and pull in. Landon. Hey, Landon, you got me?
10-4.
Well, man, you had a fun night. Started almost, well, I believe he was dead last, I think. Started 16th. Worked your way up through the field. Talk us through that. You had a really fast car. You there?
A little bit of the wall both laps.
Let me ask you this. We've seen that there was a little bit of trouble early in the race for a lot of guys. How much patience do you want to give people when you come to these races, especially on a short track like Myrtle Beach?
Well, it's hard to do, especially starting that far back, because the guys up front are really, really fast. So you don't want to go wrecking people or anything, but you also, you need to go so you can get up there before your tires are too gone, which is kind of what happened there. I had a little worse tires than Josh did running through the field, but that's about all I got.
Yeah, we've seen you actually make a couple passes on the high side, by the way, which is very impressive because you're the only one throughout the whole night that we've seen do it. Is there anything you was looking at on the restart to try to get the jump? We know that he was pretty much timing the restarts, perfect to be able to get out front like he was or like he did.
It felt like the car bogged down when you're on the bottom, especially with somebody on the top side. So I just figured I'd just keep rolling the top, and it kept working. But I didn't have anything for Josh.
Yeah, man, you did a really good job tonight. Second place. We always see you or your team of Logan up towards the front. So good run by you tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah, of course I got to thank Logan. He worked on this setup. I actually never seen the place until about half hour before practice.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. I didn't see it either. It's about a half hour. So good job, man. That was a fun race to watch, and good job on second place. And that was fun to watch you come up through the field. That was pretty exciting.
Thanks, man. It was a blast.
Thanks, buddy. Next up, let's bring in Brian Hacker, who finishes in third place. And we will talk to Joshua Hart, by the way. He just connected, so we'll talk to him. Hey, Brian, you got me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Started up in sixth, finished third. You had an interesting night. Car beat up a little bit. Looks like a normal short track race. Talk us through your night, man. Any troubles you had? We seen you in the 21. I seen you give him a little bit of bump there under caution. Anything about that?
Well, he gave me a bump under the caution prior, so I figured I'd return the favor. But no hard feelings or anything there, just giving him a hard time, trying to get in his head on that restart. But overall, the car was pretty good. Got pretty tight the last 30 or 40 laps there, so he was able to roll the outside, and I couldn't quite rotate the way I wanted to at the bottom, so he was able to get around me on the outside and keep it in second. But I feel like we had a top three car for sure.
This track is different to me because it seems like really you can't really pass on the high side pretty much. I mean, Landon made it work a couple times there, but the leader with the restart, I mean, that's pretty much, I mean, he done a great job by, leading all the laps, of course, but the restart really looked like, that's what dictated the pace of the race. He got up to such a big restart. Was you noticing anything that he was doing on the restart to help you, try to get a better restart or anything like that?
Oh yeah, of course. Josh is he's a teammate of mine, so we were kind of talking through restart strategies under yellow, and it's just it's the apex of turn 3 and 4. It's hard to get off of it and keep a consistent line and run as fast as the leader does when he's obviously making the decision when to go. So of course he had the upper hand there, and sometimes starting in third, I wasn't able to quite keep the momentum up like he was.
I'm not going to lie, it's good to see some guys up front besides Logan. Usually he does a good job, so it's good to see you and your teammate Joshua up there knocking them guys off, and you did a really good job tonight. Started sixth, finished third, so definitely, a good night for you overall. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. So I mentioned Josh is a teammate of mine, and so is AJ Rogers and Bob Lauren. So all four of us were in here. We're missing a couple of guys tonight. Jason Tarasenko and Jason Day are part of our team too. So without their help, we wouldn't be as fast as we are. So we've kind of started to gel as a team, and I think it's starting to show in our results. And thanks to the Sim Racing Short Trackers guys for putting this on, and thanks for you, Adam, for calling it in the booth.
Yeah, man, for sure. By the way, my favorite paint scheme of all these guys. So good job, man, and hopefully we'll talk to you here next week.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. Next up, let's bring in our winner, Josh Hart, who finishes first place tonight. Hey, Josh, what do you got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, there's no other way to put it. You dominated. I mean, 100 laps led. You started on the pole. Domination. Let's go ahead and start from what I just kind of asked these two guys who finished behind you. Restart seemed like it was very essential to be able to get out, to a pretty good solid gap. You changed it up a little bit here and there on the restarts. Was that one of the things you had coming into the night that you knew that you would have to do? Because your restarts was really dialed in tonight.
Absolutely. Where the pace car pulls down pit road, you have a little bit of you go through 3 and 4, and it's really hard for second place to know like whenever you're going to go. So sometimes I would just wait until I seen second place kind of ease on up, and then when he lets off, I would go. But other than that, the restarts were just really good tonight, and whenever the tires cooled off, it just handled a lot better from each restart.
What is the key to getting a victory lane here? Is it making the car stick on the bottom, or is it the drive off? Or it's got to be something special because this track is unique. I mean, it's something. This is a different track to what we've been to all year. What is the key to try to get the victory lane here?
The key is just to you want to kind of set it up a little bit tight off, because coming off of turn 4 you can really lose it real easy. Just keep it right on the bottom. In 3 and 4, going into 1 and 2, the biggest thing is just don't hit that apron. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I was sitting there talking to Brian, and I was telling him it's good to see somebody come in here and knock off, the team of Landon and Logan. They're always up front, so it's good to see some guys come in here and show that they can be a top team as well. And I think your teammates with Brian, I believe, and a couple other guys. So a good run by you tonight, man. I mean, domination. There's no other way to put it. 100 laps led. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank the sponsors, Midwest Power Source, Vulpius Motorsports, everybody on the Roughnecks. They know who they are, and I got to thank my buddy John Evans. I know he's watching.
All right, man.
Thank you, guys.
You've done a good job. I'm sure you made people proud, because you can't get any better than what you did tonight. So good job, and we'll talk to you hopefully here soon.
Yes, sir. See you next time. Thank you.
Joe, you're a short track guy at heart. Thoughts on the race?
Awesome race by Josh there. Awesome race by the entire field. You definitely tell that Josh there was best car all night. He showed it and he proved it. And I think if Landon there hadn't hit the wall there in qualifying and got both his laps disallowed, I think you could have seen a different race. He definitely would have been able to give him more competition by the time he got up there. But that's just how it works sometimes. Sometimes you just don't have the luck. Throughout the night, we had a few cautions, but that's what you expect at a short track. And like I say, I haven't actually gotten a race with these guys yet. So this is the first time I've actually seen them race a full race. Hoping to be out there with them soon, possibly by as early as next week. But these guys definitely put on an awesome show tonight, so hopefully everybody that was watching enjoyed it.
I agree. For my first race ever at Myrtle Beach, I think it put on a good show. 7 cautions, 32 laps. That's a short track race, especially with 100 laps. It's not bad at all. So I loved it. I thought it was cool. You got to kind of feel a little bit for, Logan. He had a really fast car. It could have been top 5 as well. But the guys that wasn't top 5, Josh Hart, Landon, Brian Hacker, AJ Rogers, Chris Stump, they deserve to be there as well because they was fast all night. So shout out to everybody tonight. Thanks for coming out. We'll be live tomorrow night at 9:50 p.m. for the chase race for the Go Fast Racing League. Joe, you got anything else you want to say?
Just take care, everyone, and have a good night.
Thanks. Have a great night. Flag is in the air here at New Hampshire. New Hampshire this race continues. Things can change in an instant at day 7. Thomas Jowers Jr. did get his lap back. There he goes, celebrating tonight at day